Well, hello, Melamed family. Good to be back with you again, right here at Don't Let the White Coat Fool You. I'm Dr. Persharon Dixon, and in our studio,
Dr. Norma Mobley. Hi, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
and Dr. Mobley is there in studio with our guest. Oh my goodness, we're doing this wonderful financial series. And Lamont, go ahead and let them know who you are, so we
Um,
can keep talking.
of course, Dr. Dixon. Thanks for the introduction. My name is LaMont McIntosh, financial advisor. Manhattan Ridge Advisors is my firm here in Atlanta, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you so very much. Well, today, Melamed family, we are going to talk about something that nobody really wants to talk about. But
What is it, girl? Let's hear it.
why,
Let's hear it.
why, Norma, why are physicians broke?
Girl,
I
isn't
mean,
that the
it's a good
truth?
question.
Really? Really?
You would think not, right?
People would think not. They think that all physicians are high income earners. They're not going to be living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes people try to have that status, live above their means, and they get caught up. Sometimes things untimely happen and they just get caught up.
Well, let me tell you this little story because I wasn't caught up.
Okay.
I went to, I decided that when I went to Mississippi, after Hurricane Katrina, that one of the things I was going to do for myself, since I had to live in Mississippi, which was a terrible mindset to have, since I had to live in Mississippi, I was going to make sure that I was going to enjoy that coast, and
Now,
I wanted a nice car. That's what I was going to give myself.
well,
And
I'm
I
going to
go
interrupt
to
for
a
one
local
second.
dealer, and this gentleman was well known with many in the African American community. I was recommended to him. Very nice guy. Got me the car I wanted, but he asked me that question. He said, "I'm just going to ask you this question. So many of you all come in here, doctors, which is poor credit. Like, why is y'all credit looking like it's looking? But we can overwhelm that with the amount of money that we're coming in with. But I'm in there getting my convertible Mercedes. That's what I was doing. Now, should I have been getting that? Probably not, considering that I was in a very new job. But I was there where I'm like, I'm a doctor. I deserve to have this car.
I loved riding in it.
Have you been there, Norma?
Okay, the top down. I loved riding with you, girl. But one of the things I want everyone to know is the reason she was in Mississippi was after Hurricane Katrina.
hmm
She came down to help deal with the disparities and the lack of health care for children in that area. So again, she was serving a community. The income probably isn't what people would guess it would be,
Gotcha. Well, that was very
right?
admirable of you, Dr. Dixon. Yeah.
So I've got a couple of things to share to ask you about, Lamont, and this is just in some research, and I was really amazed to see that it all applied to me and applied to folks that I know. And so the first one said one of the problems why we are broke is we're acting wealthy before becoming wealthy.
Mm.
Like we just aren't getting to that quote millionaire status. We're acting like we're millionaires, but we don't have it. Or what our mamas used to say, you got that champagne taste and beer budget.
Do you see
So what
much
are
of
you
that?
seeing, Lamont? Do you see that a lot just among
A-
all?
Absolutely. I mean, most business owners, quite frankly, but especially the elite, what I'm saying, occupations and professional careers like medical professionals, lawyers, etc. Because there's also a certain prestige, right, that needs that. I say need. You just alluded to it, that you feel like you need in order to project a certain way. Like you don't want to be the doctor rolling up in the hoopty, right? And I understand that. I mean, I'm a financial advisor. Somebody gonna give me their money if I'm riding around in something that doesn't look, what I'm saying, quality. So I understand the balance that you try to have in regards to having a certain status, but also you got to be realistic. I mean, I think there's a difference between practicality, right, and just jumping off a cliff, and taking on too much more than you can actually handle. And so what I find a lot of times the reason why people are in over their head is because there is almost like you're looking at the advanced opportunities that comes with it as opposed to where you're at here and now. And so
Mm-hmm.
what I try to suggest to most of my clients is let's live with the income that you have now And then as we get more, as you alluded to, getting wealthy later, then we can implement that. Does that make sense? So it's just a, no
It
pun
sounds real
intended.
practical.
Right, it's practical, but no pun intended. It's like you got to practice patience. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's right.
so
Yep.
that's the biggest thing.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that you know, when folks are looking at us from the outside, they see, they're a doctor, they must be making a good amount of money, and we are, but you have to, weigh that against the amount of student debt a
Hmm.
lot of us come out with. Um, and just the fact that it's, we're pretty late in our careers,
Sure.
our age when we become physicians. Most of us are around 30s, so all the 20s have gone by where we didn't have an opportunity to really spend. So there's that late, gratification. We want to be gratified now
Sure.
because we've done so much to get to this point. And it's hard. I know I remember having that thought about, I deserve to live now. I mean, like, why should I have to live in the sticks? Well, I'm a doctor and I've done so much to get here. And why should I have to, just not have? I can't get the car I want, can't get the house I want. But like you said, the delayed gratification, we're not wanting to do that part.
Yeah, and look, that's just, unfortunately, that's just the American way. I mean, that's even people that are not doctors who earn the handsome incomes that you all make, in compared to other career fields. Is I really try to encourage, like, hey, listen, I want you to live as well, right? But let's have a plan, to do that. I talk to young athletes now. In this day and age, there's the NIL athletes now. They're making a ton of money. It's like, look, dude, I get it. You're 20 something. You want to ball, but let's be cognizant that you have a whole life to live after this. And do you want to live a short part of your life, being rich and famous, so to speak, or do you want to live the longevity piece in a very comfortable lifestyle that you can do the things that you want?
So it requires discipline.
Absolutely, 100%. Which you all have, because you went through medical school. So it should be something that we apply, right?
Right.
You'll like this term, Norma. It's called diabetic neuropathy.
Hmm.
Oh, what? Say that again?
Diabetic neuropathy.
Oh
That's what
my.
physicians have. And what it means is many years of borrowing to live
Mm.
such that we become numb to the deleterious effects of debt.
Isn't that sad? You know,
Diagnosis. We
I
have a
mean,
problem, ma'am.
and you know what? I see it often. I'm sure you see it often as well because so many physicians, especially primary care and physicians of color, work well into their 70s
Mm.
because they have to.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that too. Well, I think that the opportunity lies is, okay, maybe there's a period of time, right? I have kids. I know you have a child. Like, at some point, you have to trust that they're going to make some mistakes. Hopefully, return the prodigal son or daughter, right? You know what I'm saying? To heed the advice that you have sooner than rather than later. So, what I try to allow my clients to do is like, hey, let's do a hybrid approach, right?
Okay.
You want to spend a little bit? I get it. You want to get that bag? You want to get that car? Okay. Well, let's compensate for that on the other side of that, right? Because I tell people all the time, you don't hire a financial advisor to be able to help with your needs. You don't figure out how to take care of your necessities. You hire a financial advisor to help you with a strategy so that you can do the things that you want.
That's good.
And so, like, it's just like somebody who's obese or very overweight. Like, hopefully you ain't telling them to just take that Ozempic, right? You're going to tell them to, like, hey, let's do some exercise, let's do some dieting, let's change all that type of stuff.
Right.
And have a gradual approach to it.
Lifestyle change.
Exactly, because most people are not cold turkey folk.
Right.
So you have to meet them in a practical sense. Like, all right, look, you've been spending, let's just make up random numbers, $2,000 a month, you know what I'm saying, that I think we can redirect. How about we spend half of that? And let's check back in 3 months and see, has that changed? And with that other 1,000, I'm not going to trust you to not spend it. We're going to send that into an account that's fully liquid and accessible to you. And then if you want to spend it later because you just can't bear it, it's your money. You can do what you want to do with it. But if we find out after 3 months that, hey, that didn't hurt so bad, and I was still able to do the things that I like at a reduced level, then let's continue it. Let's just try to take the next step. And so you do that in a practical approach. I think more people can get get on board with that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I, I don't even know if I knew about the term financial advisor until I was well into working. I not heard that term nor really realized what it meant, and also thought it was for the rich.
Sure.
The rich. So never thought that
Same
that would
here.
be someone I should be looking for. So when would you say a physician should be looking to add a financial advisor to their team?
As soon as possible. Look, you could be in your you could
Residency?
I would say residency, because financial advisors work in different capacities, right? So you have the wealth management piece, right? Where it's like somebody who already has accumulated wealth and you're managing that portfolio on their behalf. You're allocating the investments. You're making adjustments based on market conditions. But then you have financial advisors, which I also offer in my practice, of just advice. Like, maybe there's a planning fee or just free consultation just to get you on board to say, hey, you're not where you're gonna be, but you're gonna be there. So let's prepare for that. So that's an investment, no pun intended, for the financial advisor to make with that soon to be high income earner, right? And you want to establish that relationship early. And so we talked about before, having a plan as early as possible allows you to alleviate any inevitable anxiety and stress that you're gonna have financially. So, but especially coming out of medical school, when you're doing your residency, I would definitely say that's when you should really, really lock in, because at that point that it's inevitable that you're going to either take the career path of being an employee or opening your practice. Mm-hmm. So you want to have some advice, if you will, to help you along the way. And specifically, I would say financial advisors that offer fee for service is what we call it, right? So if you don't have no money yet, right? You know what I'm saying? We call them Henrys. It's an acronym. High earners, not rich yet. You know what I'm saying? And so
I like that. I like that.
So if I work with you, like coach you, it's like a trainer. If I can coach you, you're a big prospect. And so if I train you the right way, you'll become this all-star or Hall of Fame type of, athlete. You know what I mean? In this case, medical professional.
Oh, I bet there's a lot of Henrys out there. And one of the things I'm getting is it's important to establish that relationship, because it's a trusted relationship, 100%. Just like that between a physician and a patient.
100%. I mean, listen, besides faith, right, and family, money is the biggest thing that people hold near and dear to their heart. And so if you're willing to open up to me about your finances, you better have a certain level of trust, because if anybody that's giving that level of vulnerability, allowing them to see behind, the closed doors, right, then you need to make sure that person is going to have your best interest. And in your case, there's regulatory and compliance things, the same for me as being a fiduciary, making sure that I'm doing what's in the best interest of the client and not what's best for my pockets.
I know for me, I never had anybody talk to me about it until my banker mentioned. He asked me, because when I started my own practice, my solo practice,
sure,
I was really focused on trying to get a college fund together for my son. So I was saving, putting away, and he finally asked me, he said, "What about your retirement?" Had not even thought about my retirement. He said, "Okay, get your son where you want it to be, and then he was conscientious enough to bring that up to me. That was the first time, and I was in my 40s.
Yeah. Better late than never, as we talked about before. I'll wrap this up saying this, though. For me, you're not alone. I think sometimes the fear for people to even take the step, even though they feel like they're behind, is because it's like, it's too late. I'll just work till I die. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Maybe I could sell this practice, whatever the case may be. But you're just wishing. You're not planning or strategizing, right? And so what I would just implore is, like, the end of the day, as a business owner, learn how to run a business. Because from there, you'll be able to allocate what you want to do for your future and what you need to do to run your practice. And also, I think financial advice can help with that dramatically.
That's rich right there. I'm a Henry.
I'm a Henry, but listen, I'm not going to be a broke Henry long.
No, ma'am.
Thank you.
Of
Thank you so
course.
much
Thanks
for
so
that. That was
much.
No, it's
right
my
on
pleasure.
target.